Hey, good morning. It's Saturday, August the 8th. Chance to be out this morning and be up in the hills in the beautiful area of the upstate. Just as I was getting ready to record, came across this beautiful feather. You can catch just the nuances of the shades. Not sure what creature this was, but maybe it just fell off. But reminded of God's faithfulness here. And we're coming to the end of, this is the last meditation on Psalm 25. And the last words David says to encourage us, he says, as he waits before the Lord, he says, wholeheartedness and uprightness will preserve me, for I have waited on you. And the peace that comes from that, you see, what Psalm 25 is calling us to do is to walk with God in this experience of knowing his ways. And as was noted throughout this week, his ways are beautiful, special ways. It's not just about do's and don'ts. It's not just about keeping the commands or not keeping the commands. But it's see how God works in his beautiful world. So even I'm reminded of that in this phenomenally beautifully feather, which you probably can't see, but the way the light is catching it, even the colors that are there, it's gorgeous. And we have these all around us. So just as this feather floats in the air and goes away, this is what God does. The fact that I just saw it drift slowly to the ground. Those are the ways of God. He designed our universe, our planet, so it would work in these very special ways. We see him. I feel a breeze right now. The scripture tells me that that is exactly what it's like, the way the Spirit moves. You can begin to see it now a little bit in my hair, a little bit in the branches behind you, but I feel it in a way that is special. Well, as I can experience the love of God, the compassion of God, the mercy of God, because we are people. You all are like me. We are people in need of the mercy and grace of God. We need his healing, and that's what Jesus did. Jesus died so that we would know this ability to enjoy God for who he is, to walk in his ways, to experience his ways. Not in some mystical, ethereal kind of way, some strange way, but just to realize all the data he gives us around us is about him and how he moves. So he calls me then to walk in wholeheartedness and to be upright, and that preserves me. That's my trust. And then this beautiful, beautiful concept, I've waited on you. It's not a passive waiting. It's a waiting, it's a patience, it's an aggressive belief that God is going to be faithful because that's what his character is like. And several times in this psalm, we've seen David use the term, Lord, you must do this. Again, not that he can require God to do it, but because he knows God is going to be consistent with who he is. When we face struggles and trials, when we cry out to God as David is crying out in this psalm, what he is asking us to do is to realize that God will respond to us. That's what faith is all about. Believing that God is going to care for me because he's promised that he would. And then the last words of the psalm is he calls all Israel, all the people of God, to trust God in this way. So as we close these thoughts on Psalm 25, hang on to this beauty of God. And I'm glad I'm out this morning and you can just hear and see the magnificent character of God on display. We see it in the storms. We see it in the beauty. We see it in the sunshine. We see it in the hard things. We see it in the disastrous things. It's all about God maintaining his character and who he is. And he will be faithful to that. And that's what David is calling on you and me to do. To walk before God in wholeheartedness, our whole life, in uprightness, choosing his ways because it is the way God operates. And then wait on him for God to be faithful and do the things that God does that will preserve our lives and give us rest and peace. So your petitions to God in Psalm 25 point us to this beautiful, faithful God who will meet us, and may we experience the warmth of his kind compassion. Think about that this day, and we'll see you tonight. Lord bless you. Bye-bye.